So, Justice, thanks for joining us. What with the question time last week and results night this week, it's a very fast-moving, hectic process, the election. What's been your experience of it so far as a candidate?
My experience has been far is quite interesting because it's not something I've done before. So in life, there's always a chance for opportunity for someone to explore. So it's had given me confidence, like in speaking to people and improve my presentation skills, like going campaigning, talking to people, campaigning online, sharing videos. So it's been a quite good experience for me because it's good advice. It's building my personality. So I believe it's an opportunity that I've not had before. So it's giving me the confidence. Yeah.
And at the question time, you said that in terms of communication, you wanted to reach out to students more. You said that social media wasn't enough. So how would you reach out if you were elected?
Basically, how I will reach out is you're going to post on social media, yeah? You're going to post on social media, fine, but at the same time, you still want to make sure that what you posted and the information you are passing through to improve the student engagement activities, you need to make sure the things you posted is being taken effect. For example, working with your team members as well as course rep, school reps to make sure that the issue you pass on is taking effect by going to either every school. We have different school, business school, science school, to every department, the head of the school, like this is what is happening. We want to make sure students are taking part, so stuff like that. Social media is very good, but what I'm trying to say is that I'm not going to only use social media. It's about listening, because a good leader, I believe, is to listen to the people and to know their problems as well. So if you post it, some people may not really get concerned if you don't stress the importance, just like the voting is going on now. Some people think the voting has not started, but they are seeing posters. They are seeing posters and all that. But if you don't stress the importance, going to lectures to be telling them that this thing is very important, you need to take part. For example, volunteering, the importance of volunteering and the stress what they will gain if they volunteer and have some employability skills. So this is the way I think that is more important. Face-to-face interaction, building a relationship. I think that is one of the most important things, because this is the campus. You can walk down to every department to speak to people. Yeah, thank you.
And free speech was raised at the question time as well. And Kudzai said that it's not an unreserved right, because students need to feel safe, but they also need to feel as though they can express themselves. How would you try and get that balance if you were elected?
Yeah, if I'm elected, students need to feel safe, because there are some issues that are happening. Like, for example, I've heard some girls, like, when they go out on a night out, like guys trying to grab them, like, without their consent. These are things that, if I'm elected, I need to look into, instead of, because you don't want to force someone, because in a society where we are, like, you don't want to abuse people without their consent. They have to have permission and all this. So to make students more safe as well is to also make things convenient for people. Is to build that culture, and it's also about keeping students up to date about what is happening, like, and if they have any questions or something they want the SC to improve on. I believe in that situation you get to know the problem they are facing and try to know how to tackle it, because there's no problem without solution. There's no problem on earth without solution. So I believe the best way to do this is to make sure, like, they are safe in terms of their academic, they are performing very well, they are going on the right direction. That is to make everything convenient. Yeah.
Theresa May has just announced a review of higher education, and many have said that she should follow Labour's advice and reintroduce maintenance grants. So could you and would you do anything to help students with the cost of living while they were at university if you were elected?
Yeah, I believe it's a good thing to improve and to make cost of living very efficient for students, because I believe that it's not just about you coming to university and paying the money and you get your degree, then you go. No, it's not like that. The university still have to do something that when the students go, they're going to be like, oh, when I was studying in this university, this was how I was treated. So you get what I mean? It's to create that cultural diverse and to make university in the cultural map, and also about making cost of living is that I've listened to students complaining about all the vending machines in the university, even including the one in the library. They don't have card payment. If they don't, this is a 21st century and people do things on the go. People are not going to have coins in their pocket or cash like every time. Especially sometimes I work part-time in the library, so I understand the frustration because some students want to study, get coffee in the vending machine and things like that. So they can't really get it because there's no coins. Sometimes I have to help them with coins if I've got coins in my pocket. So this kind of thing. So I believe getting student experience as to make they live cost effectively and to make things easy, I believe it's also part of the student satisfaction and experience as well. It's not just only about the academic performance. And also talking about the car park. If you go to the car park, student pay the same amount of money to park their cars compared to staff. These are things I want to look into, that at least the price for students parking their cars should be reduced, and also there should be more space for students to be parking their cars, and also try to provide parking cards so when they park they can just scan their card instead of having coins in their pocket to park their cars, and also try to make parking space very close, because sometimes, I don't know if you know Morrison's, it's quite far from here. People go to Morrison's to park their cars, or they have to drive down to before they can walk down to the university. Because these are still part of the student experience, to make things easy, make things convenient, and also in that way trying to make cost effective. Because if they try to reduce the prices for parking as well as making the car park, I believe it will be easy for students as well. I think it will be easy for students as well. So these are some of the issues that if I'm elected, I'm gonna do, and all other issues that students have. Yeah.
And turnout is steadily growing as the election process continues. But do you think there's anything that could be done to improve the democracy of the student union, and what would it be, and how would you do it if you were elected?
Like I said, democracy is about freedom of speech and people doing things in their own will. So I believe the way to improve democracy is about the leader being showing that is a democrat, like is a democracy person, is to stress the importance, is to work across with staff in the university as well as all the academic staff and all the department to stress the importance that students have their right to say what they want to say. This is their university, no matter where they come from. No matter the country they come from, as long as they are full-time students in this university, they have the right to say whatever they want to say. They have the right to do whatever they want to do, as long as they are students in this university. But some people, they don't know this. When I was talking to someone from Vietnam, I said, have you voted? She was like, people from Vietnam, do they vote as well? I said, come on, you're a University Linc student. So some people don't know this. That's why I feel like when the SU sometimes pass out information, maybe they're not making it, in general, or making it, feasible for students to this thing. So when you express the importance, I'll also make sure that staffs are aware, and also sometimes inform students about these issues. Then they will know. So from there, they will know that, okay, I have the right to do this, I have the right to do that. Because if you don't inform people, people cannot make decisions. So informed decision is very important. It's about creating that relationship to make sure that they are aware that these are things that are happening. That is basically where I want to do. I'm not just only going to be posting on social media, or I'm not just going to be posting on this. I want to make sure that I get on there to make sure students are taking part. They are doing their things very well. Yeah.
And the SU recently announced a 2-week ban for people caught bottle throwing at student union venues. Do you think there's anything else that the SU could be doing to promote responsible behaviour at student union venues?
Okay. People throwing bottles on student union events. I believe there are, like I said, there's no problem without solutions. If some particular students are doing this kind of things, is to go and ask them, why was this action, what happened, why did you do this? So they will tell you why they did it and give you reasons of why they did it. From there, you you kind of look at the issue like, okay, this is the reason why they do it, or they are angry against someone, or they are angry because of this, or you kind of tackle it. There's no problem with that solution, like I always say. So if they're throwing bottles and all that, there must be a reason. There must be a reason why they're doing that. They don't just do it. They don't just do it. Even someone that is drunk, when he's doing something, they know what they're doing, even though they are drunk. So if somebody is doing something like that, is to first of all go to them, try to get to them. Why did you do it? Is there any problem? Is there anything the university is doing that you think you don't like? Is there anything that needs to be improved? So this is the thing I think is to tackle this kind of situation, because you cannot just judge people. You don't know what is in people's mind. Someone does something does not mean like you're just going to judge or conclude that, oh, this person is this person is that. So you have to tackle the problem from the root. So if there is throwing a button and all that, you need to find out why and why they are doing it, what is the issue. Then you look into it as a leader. That is the best way, I think, to handle those kind of situations.
And the issues we've raised are obviously a number of issues that affect a student's life while they're at university. So what would your main priorities be if you were elected?
Like to affect student experience, yeah? Yeah, like I said before, like the main thing to make sure that student experience is being affected is about maybe sometimes taking focus groups and maybe trying to gather students together and asking them like, what would you think the SU can do to improve your experience? Is this something we are doing that you think you don't like? Is this something that is happening like you don't like? Also, for example, like. Some people, yeah, you just have to stress the importance that they have the right to do this kind of thing. For example, like, Quack, they have Quack nightclub every week. So sometimes you can ask the student, like, what would you guys like to happen this week? Maybe there are some artists coming on. Do you think we should go for this artist, or do you think we should go for this artist? So it's to engage that student. So that's why I said the main thing is to create that like cultural diversity, that where University of Lincoln will put on the cultural map, whereby like everybody will feel that this is a cultural diverse university, to make sure that everybody is partaking in activities, both Chinese, whatever the country you come from, is to tackle it. Because the Quack, to be honest, I don't think it's everyone that is going to be based on probably maybe the music or the people get things like that. So it's to create these chances of students having their say, because if you are representing people, you are representing them. It's what they say, that is what you're going to do. So I believe to improve more of the student satisfaction is to go into the table, look at what is happening, and try to tackle it from there. Because if you don't know a problem, you don't know how to solve it. So I believe that is the way to try giving the student the option to choose, student the option to interact, to make their decisions. Why do they say that? Why are they not saying that? Stuff like that. So I believe that's the way to improve the student. If you know the problem from there, you improve it. If it is academic issues, you go to the academic representative. What is happening? You need to go there and talk to the student. You need to know what is happening. Like if it is financials, you need to be like, okay, they're having issue with financials. Then we'll look into that. How we can raise money or try to make sure they have the best issues. Yeah.
And obviously there's a choice in the election, so why do you think people should vote for you over your contender as president?
Okay. I think people should vote for me because I've got the experience. Number one, I've lived here for 4 years. I've did my degree here, and at the moment I'm doing my master's. So most of the issues I mentioned about the car parking, vending machine, and all other issues about like the culture, everybody coming together, I believe these are pressing issues like that maybe the student unions have not tackled. So I want to make this my number one priority. And also in life, there's always a chance for opportunity. If you don't test someone, how are you going to know? So I'm confident, and also I've got the knowledge. I know as an international student, I know the importance and the impact and satisfaction of student. Because I've lived here, I know what it is. I've volunteered, I've taken part in activities, I've worked with people, I've worked with groups. So I've got the skills as well as understanding the pressing issues of the student and try to tackle this situation. So if they vote for me, probably I want to make sure that University of Lincoln is well recognized. Like 2014, the University of Lincoln Union won the best student union award. So since then, the award, I said, why? What is happening? Is it like the student union has not been performing very well? So these are issues I want to make sure that the student union is well recognized in all of East Midland. I want the student union to compete with other student union universities in Birmingham and Aston University as well as that. And also, what some other student union do is that sometimes to encourage student engagement or student performance, providing fund for dissertation students doing their dissertation, like to dissertation binding and printing, just to show to students that the university cares about you. The university cares about you. It's not just you coming to pay your money, get your degree and go. So that is something I want to do as well, is to try to raise one of dissertation allowance to make sure that students go out there and get the money and make sure, you need to give to the student as well. You need to make life easy. The vending machine, the parking space, the parking card, and also like giving the choice of student to make that decision upon what is happening and what these things student can improve on. I believe with these things we will try to tackle their problems. So if they vote for me, I believe I'm going to make sure all these issues come to light and make sure every student, whatever country you come from, you have the best experience ever.
And finally, what would you say to those who may look at the student union elections and think they can't be bothered to vote?
Yeah, that is the issue. When I go to some people, they be like, they can't be bothered to vote, they don't want. I say, well, you have to vote. Like, I'm not saying you should vote for me, but you should vote based on the manifesto of the candidate and see if this is someone you want to vote for, because in that way you have the right to vote as well as a student. Because if you don't vote, how are you going to get the best representative to represent you? Like I said, there's always a chance for opportunity. So some people think you have not been there before, how can you do the job, stuff like that. There's always the first time for everything. I've worked with people, I've worked with universities, I've worked with groups, I work on projects. I know what I'm doing and I know what I'm saying. So if being elected, probably these are the main things I want to do to improve the student union. So if someone is not voting, you need to tell them how important the voting is, and also ask them like, why do they want to vote? They will be like, maybe I'm not benefiting from the student union, or I'm not being getting involved, or things are not being reaching me. Then you see from that angle, it's from true listening to people as well as tackling issues. Then I found out about the car parking issues and all these vending machines things. I said these are really issues, like it's part of the student, because all the students use the University of Lincoln Library. So if these things are not there for people to do, and as well as improving the student performance, then how would they want to vote? They'll be like, I don't mind. But if you stress the importance of voting and they have the right to vote, so when they vote, they bring up their issues, that the student union can solve for them. From there, you take it from there. So that is the main thing, I think. If someone is not one of us, to tell them that. Thank you.
Justice, thanks very much for joining us.